Well, thanks very much for joining us this morning. Beautiful spring morning, not raining on Dartmoor, which is pretty special,
It
isn't
is
it?
very
Yes.
special.
And I'm talking to Anne Hibbert, who is well known locally actually as being one of the flower ladies at St. Raphael's at Huckabee. Been doing it for a quarter of a century or so, free of
Getting
charge.
on that way, yes, getting
Free
on
of
that
charge.
way.
So thanks for joining us, because we are about to launch Pilgrim Trails, and I've got the brand new Pilgrim Trails brochure in draft form at the moment. I think I'd like to start with, what is it? I know you are a keen local walker, and in fact you're a member of a weekly walking group. What is it about Dartmoor that really attracts you? What is it? The scenery? Is it the river
There's
behind us?
everything. The tranquility of certain areas, the raw nature of Dartmoor. It has had human activity since the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, but the layers of history are still really visible, which I find quite fascinating. Some of my walking friends are very knowledgeable, so every time we walk on a Monday, we discover something new. A cross on a stone, embedded in a wall, just so many things that are really interesting. And the idea of the pilgrimage is not new. We've got the Abbott's Way that crosses from Buckfast to Tavistock, where the monasteries were before the dissolution. We've got the Lich Way, which people were obliged to follow to carry their dead to Lidford, which for some reason was the only consecrated church. There's just...
I think that's one of the things we noticed when we were doing the pre-planning, how many links, footpaths and bridle ways there are, and some of them, the name gives it away. You've mentioned one, but there's also a divine way.
That I don't know. I'm interested to find out where the divine way is. There are lots of church paths that link outlying farms to the church. There's a church path that goes virtually from Challicum over Hameldown down to St Pancras in Widdicombe.
Right. No, I think you're right. It's like St Raphael's at Huckabee and at Postbridge. They have chapels at ease,
Yes.
which are quite unusual, really, although there are a few on Dartmoor, because they were built for the ease of the parishioners to get to church.
Yes.
Because as I understand it, Princetown was actually the centre of the Lidford parish originally, which is the largest geographic parish in the whole of the UK.
That's really strange, isn't it? And there are still links to that. I mean, there is a Lidford Tor, a long way from Lidford.
Yeah.
And the Lich Way goes quite near there, I think.
Yeah. Our central idea is really to celebrate the differences in all the churches and chapels here on Dartmoor, but also so there's a greater appreciation, and the term pilgrimage, of course, walking on foot to a holy place, as it was called. So without mentioning too many names, what would be your favourite church or chapel? Or you perhaps better mention two.
Well, obviously Huckabee is very dear to me. I live in Huckabee. And the thing I like about Huckabee Church is that it is simple. It isn't ornate. It isn't over-embellished. It's exquisitely plain and simple. And the other one, which I really like, more because of its situation and the views, is Leusden.
Right.
And you can walk from Huckabee to Leusden relatively easily.
Right.
Good boots.
Right. The one thing that just surprised me there is, because I know also that you run a local art group and you're an artist in your own right, I thought you'd mentioned something like a rood screen or a pulpit, or not quite a Baroque style type of thing, but something more artistic.
Well, I think those sort of churches are very well celebrated, whereas I think our little simple church, to me, is one of the reasons I like Dartmoor. The simplicity. You don't need over ornate, you don't need rich embellishments. You just need a simple space. And Dartmoor has so many, to me, it has so many spiritual places
Yes.
that are outside.
Of course, this is almost the secondary reason that we're developing the sites is so people can see this magnificent scenery, the East Dart, the West Dart, and I think behind this, is it called the Double Dart?
This is the Double Dart.
This is the Double Dart. Okay.
Which is lovely, isn't it? It's quite poetic.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And the idea, the whole concept is about, as a pilgrimage was, you sort of have an intention. You just state why you're going to walk between, I don't know, Widdicombe and Buckland-on-the-Moor. And it needn't be a huge walk, it can be quite a small walk, and the intention could be, I just want to get fit. But actually it could be a lot deeper than that, because the actual title of what we're trying to do here is Visitors to Pilgrims. Many of us get a lot of visitors, but I wonder how many come back. One of the famous church notices I remember is, this church is open between Christmas and Easter.
Yes.
And it's
yeah.
or, you know, births, deaths, marriages,
Yeah.
and very rarely say. But actually, if you ask someone to engage with the church and appreciate the church, because in the brochure we do have the points of interest, from the simple, from the tranquil, to the rood screen, to the stained glass windows. So there really is something for everyone, including families. So I'd really thank you for the chat as well. And
It's a pleasure.
And I've learned today this is the Double Dart.
This is the Double Dart, yeah.